I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like. I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like. Yeah, so put the word out. And look, as we get ready to conclude here, we got one more quick category, and then we're going to get to the vaunted 8th annual 2020 and as horribilis super cross winter solstice. It could get worse. COVID pandemic, White Walker, Boku, Foku, Hubert Henry Harrison, hater of the year nominees. But we have a quick late entry for an old but classic category that we had to quickly throw together and bring back, that I didn't even have a banner ready for, but it is the No Intel, or was originally the No Intel Bro Award. I think we renamed it slightly. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one up for now. The No Intel Bro Award, or the Co-Intel Bro Award, for Co-Intel Bro Award, because of a story that technically should probably go into next year, but just for the next award, but just because it started last year. This guy started last year. He's the single nominee for this year's award. Because and shout out to the Gray Zone for this reporting, where they break down all of the video and all of this. This guy here, who claimed initially came on the scene in this past summer in DC, Jayden X, or Jonathan Sullivan, claiming to be a Black Lives Matter activist, ends up becoming the main one participating in last week's Capitol invasion, getting all of this documenting all this footage, including the footage of the woman getting shot. He's seen on camera instigating burning down the Capitol and doing all this stuff. And the reason I think this is No Intel Bro, Co-Intel Bro worthy is because his presence is now being used to blame Black Lives Matter, which is something we can come back maybe and talk about later, and Antifa for the fracas down at the Capitol the other day. So he is our singular and only nominee this year. I encourage people to go see this Gray Zone report and to see Max Blumenthal's interview with Katie Halper, even, where they get into this and break down the footage. I mean, it's a fascinating and crazy story. And this guy is, to me, indicative of why we need real political organization and clarity, because this event planning and social media activism leaves all the room in the world for people like this to do their No Intel Bro, Co-Intel Bro stuff. So congratulations. If brothers, if you have anything you want to add to that, but congratulations to Jayden X or Jonathan Sullivan for winning this year's No Intel Bro Hate Award.
I don't. That was well said, Dr. Ball.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. So then as we go to the concluding signature Hater of the Year award, do either of you want to take the liberty of reading our nominees?
I will do so.
Go ahead, please.
Hubert Henry Harrison Hater of the Year Award. And the nominees are, the first one is me, which is interesting because I tend to write about puppies and rainbows and Smurfs. But for some reason, I'm on here saying that I made a challenge to Black nationalists to write more than one book, and that I write, quote, merciless book reviews, end quote. Very interesting, very interesting.
I mean, we got to point out, I mean, you did a lot of Zooming and whatever this summer, and you've been on this point for years, to be clear, but you went hard in their face to many elders and writers and people who should have been, as you argue, done more and written more. Your book reviews have been very clear on this point. I think this is a very well-earned nomination. you have hated very hard this year on a good number of people, and importantly pointing out that we're not producing enough serious substantive work.
Now, for those who basically don't know who I am, if you go to imixwhatilike.org and you type in my name and you type in book reviews, you'll see many of the examples which Dr. Ball and Dr. Haight feel that I am deserving of this award. Notice I'm not turning down the award, and notice I am not disagreeing with their analysis. I want you to notice that. All right, so I'm the first person.
Yeah, we don't have the tapes laid out, Leah, but yeah, you saw it live, so you know what's up. You know he's worthy.
The scene was ugly.
Now the second.
Wait, hold on. Is Haight trying to contextualize?
Yeah, the scene. If folks have seen Todd at work, it's he's mean. Todd is very mean and hateful. Don't let none of this stuff fool you. He was on with folks who were the old guard Malcolm X commemoration committee of the 90s, and was going at them on their platform with their event for not doing more than writing one book related to defending, lifting up, supporting, commemorating Malcolm X. And it was one of the most painful things to watch. Like, I thought watching T'Challa talk to his ancestors in the Nominee, I thought that was painful. Like, bro, who are you talking to like that? You wildin'. And then when I saw this joint, I was like, this guy take this Black Panther thing real serious. Before you die, I want you to hear what I'm saying to you. So when you were ancestor, you could know what I said about you. That joint was hard.
Absolutely.
The second nominee, I'm going to let Dr. Haight do, because he's got to put this in context.
Well, I might have to go ahead. Yeah.
There's a rule in battle rap that if you are facing one heavyweight opponent, that you just take one battle for that month, right? And it was a strange phenomenon because, as we mentioned before, there was a battle that was supposed to take place between Umar Johnson and Jared Ball in Philly. And I was looking at this like a battle rap enthusiast, like, oh, you going into his hometown with his crowd and you going to take on Umar Johnson for this battle, right? And this was all supposed to take place in October and like all within 1 week. And I was like, bro, you sure you want to go see Umar Philly? And he was like, yeah, let's set it up. So he jumps on the road and then I'll let him explain what happened. And then the back and forth with the Twitter beef amongst you Black academics is hilarious. Y'all just be taking everything real serious. And it's going to be who gets the right and last word. And so if anyone followed for like, a Twitter second, if you measure that in nano or like, in whatever infinitesimal seconds that it lasts, there was a quick Twitter back and forth with Greg Carr, the former chair of Africana Studies, African American Studies at Howard University, and Jared Ball. And they went back and forth so much that Greg Carr was like, man, I'm coming on your show on the BTAC Collective. I'm going to write my piece, and I'm going to come display why my reasoning is the sharpest. And now I'll let Dr. October is going to come out. We spell October A-K-H because Aki over here, try to line it all up in October. It was like everybody could get it in 1 week, let alone the Hamilton interview you had, right? So all of this is lining up for one short period of time. And I was like, yo, as a battle man, hype crew, son, you sure you want to go battle all of these folks in 1 week? You messing with Carr? Kamaki? And Umar and Carr. In 1 week, you trying to battle, son. That's a lot of heavyweights to take on. And so I'll let Dr. Ball say what had happened afterwards.
So look, just some this is all very funny and I appreciate it and I'm happy to be nominated. I do work very hard to even though I'm part of the committee, I work very hard each year to earn my nomination and I don't always make it. So I'm very honored to be nominated. First of all, the Derek Hamilton conversation we had earlier this year, that was not part of this. Hamilton has been a big supporter of me and my work. And he was doing us the graciousness of coming to talk with me in Morgan State about that work. But it was a heavy hitter. I was engaging, so I appreciate. I get your point. But what was supposed to happen? It happened to be in the month of October last year when Dr. Kemet Shockley, who's put together a series of discussions with various people about various aspects of the African world, has a series coming out, which I'm assuming is coming out in the next couple of weeks, invited me, asked me if I would be willing. Initially, he did ask me if I'd be willing to debate Umar Johnson. And for a number of reasons, I said I would. And it wasn't necessarily going to be couched as a debate. It was going to be more of a conversation where there was expectations that we would end up disagreeing. So there would be some whatever. I did agree to do it. And waited many weeks. And then the night before, I got a text from Dr. Shockley that they were going to have to replace Professor Johnson with somebody else because Professor Johnson had a last minute something happen that was never explained. And he never made it. I went up there anyway. We taped something with Brother Omawale Africa, and we'll see what happens when it comes out. But that was that. The other one was, and I don't even want to couch, even though that Umar and I have been in similar spaces before, we presented at the same space before, we've never really interacted. We certainly didn't have any beef, although there would be points of disagreement, I'm sure, but I was certainly willing, to discuss, debate with him or certainly anyone else, especially if it's a serious invitation and people really want to have a discussion. The other one was with Dr. Carr, who, long story short, we go way back. He's in the chat now. And we were disagreeing online on Twitter about the vote and voting for Biden. And long story short, his argument in defense of supporting Biden for federal judges and this sort of old argument I disagree with thoroughly. But more importantly, I thought that his approach online with me and other people was condescending and disrespectful of the traditions we were working from. So it was as if Dr. Carr was not even willing to acknowledge that there are traditions, which I know he knows very well, in black struggle of people saying we're not voting for these two parties, and then to reduce the entire discussion to federal judges, and then even at one point to argue that political prisoners would probably prefer that when there's not one that I'm aware of who has made that argument. And certainly when Daruba came on with us shortly after that, he didn't accept that line of reasoning. But I just thought it was a confusing and unsupportable position that should have gotten more honest discussion, particularly with somebody like me, with whom he has been engaged and known for a number of years. And then we did invite him to participate. Apparently he said he would in our BTAC collective panel on this, and then he didn't. And I would add one other piece to this, that when the Buying Power book came out, and through his support, I understand, I ended up on Karen Hunter's show. She had not read the book at the time. The interview went very well. Then subsequent to that, Carr goes on her show, misrepresents my book's argument. I pointed that out to them both. He said he looked forward to the discussion of the book. Never had that happen. They never responded to my clarification on Twitter to the misrepresentation of my work. So neither he nor Hunter responded, and that never went on either. So my point in all this is that Carr is a legend. Carr has earned the right of the place he holds now. I just think he was out of line and out of pocket in dismissing logical, rational critique of somebody who should have, if not, has risen to the level of being his peer. Somebody I think I've earned the respect to go beyond being dismissed on Twitter as if I have no place or point, or that the ideas I'm looking to represent have no place or point. So that was just that. That's
very loving hate. That's very loving hate.
I mean, you know, it is what it is.
I saw it through the eyes of Riley. And I was trying to insta-hate the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is battle rap. Like when Math and T-Rex was supposed to battle, but Math really didn't have to battle Dose. And he starts off and he said, I was supposed to battle T-Rex, but that fool was scared. And that's the battle where, you know, Math aired out Dose and it was a big tumble and Math became the bully. And I was like, woo! Math and Dose had these legendary battles and put battle rap, like put the smack in smack. So I thought that's where you were taking this. Like, let's get into the ring and let's get ready to like I was Redman with it, I was Riley with it, I was Math with it, and then you said they no-showed, and I was like, now what are we supposed to do with this? And that is why you got the Dr. October title, because you went Reggie Jackson. When Reggie stepped to the plate in the World Series, Reggie was putting the ball out the park.
Well, the one perhaps difference there is that the comparison would be I never got to get up to the plate because there was no game. The game got called, so Reggie got to go to the plate and hit home runs. My point is, again, obviously I think I'm right in whether it was with Carr or Johnson, but although I wasn't clear what John. I mean, I know where Johnson and I disagree, but we never got to. My point is, I may think I'm right, but more importantly is that I think the community deserves rational, logical discussion, even in debate and disagreement. And when people either perform on YouTube or become condescending in social media and don't want to actually engage on principled, substantive discussion, particularly with someone maybe on their left or within a particular range of disagreement, I think that's just not. And so, as I've consistently said, particularly in terms of Carr, his value is, and even as I said to him in that Twitter exchange, he would have been so much more valuable to the conversation, I think, instead of condescendingly dismissing me and the other brother engaged in that discussion, Dwayne Wong, as I believed in his name, in that moment. Carr could have just simply said, "Look, I'm selecting a certain path. I'm acknowledging a tradition you all are representing. Here's why I disagree. Here's why I think." But he never even laid out the argument. So when I'm saying, please lay out this federal judge's argument, because I don't get it, he didn't do it. And when I found a Yale law professor and made my BTEC commentary on the basis of that law professor's argument as to why emphasis on the Supreme Court and Supreme Court, and I think also federal judges, but Supreme Court in general is not, which is different from the federal bench. I get it, but the point was emphasis on these benches doesn't help so-called minorities over time, has not. So my only thing was, great, we might get a better nominee from Biden than Trump, but all of the other policies Biden is going to support, from war to AFRICOM to policing to no health care and all this other stuff, I think overrides the positives of a federal. So anyway, I'm just saying, it doesn't, I may think I'm right, I may be wrong. The point is the discussion should occur. And it wasn't happening.
And because of discussion, I'm going to do nominee number 5, because I'll do that.
Go ahead.
No, but do 3 and 4, and then I'll
get. I got you.
Let me just get this last point in, right?
Go ahead.
Because I can't get out of Riley, and I'm thinking, even in the immortal words of Fat Joe, not even Pee Wee Kirkland could imagine this. My team didn't have to play to win the championship. How you gonna say I'm coming to the Rutgers and not play ball?
That's
funny. Not gonna show up for the championship.
That's funny.
Fat Joe.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so Todd, Dr. Burroughs number 1. I'm number 2. Number 3 is Michael Jordan for The Last Dance. I know you ain't think we forgot about him, but we laid some of it out earlier. There were so many tributaries of hate that were worthy of his nominee, that, you know, his nomination, that we had to put him there. I watched a lot of this next one with great interest. And I'm happy that she's on this nominee list, and that's Jaguar Wright. Again, we mentioned her earlier. This brilliant singer and even MC from back in the day, a truth teller of neo soul industry and she's nominated for because she kept pushing the truth and keep putting out good music. So she put out the truth, or her truth, if you want to describe it that way, for allegedly, for whatever, about Common, about Black Thought, and not supporting Malik B, and be, representing Malik B, and running off for the Fallon money and all that kind of stuff. I thought I watched a lot of that, actually. I thought she did a lot. So so go ahead, Dr. Burrows, with our last nominee. You're gonna
right. The last nominee is Dr. CBS for Wilkerson Review Twitter Stompings.
And that's Dr. Sharice Burden-Stelly,
who I really enjoyed your discussion with her. I had never heard of her, and I was very impressed with her level of intellect. However, I want to say, I don't think that she rises to the hate level that deserves to be part of Hater of the Year. I mean, her tweets are very good and very strong, but I thought that Boston Review article was very intellectual. And I mean, I understand that intellectual is going to write intellectual for an intellectual magazine, but I didn't feel the same power that I saw in those tweets. Like, I thought those tweets were for Black people, and that Boston Review was from somebody else. I'm from the Black press, right? If you want to call somebody an Aunt Jemima, call them an Aunt Jemima. If you calling somebody an Aunt Thomasina, call them an Aunt Thomasina. Now, and I'm not saying something I didn't already do, because I went on Facebook and I wrote only one paragraph about Isabel Wilkerson, because it was only worth one paragraph, because her whole argument was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Now, that may not be as intellectual as Dr. CBS, but I think it's important to point out that when you want to stand for your people, then you stand for your people. Mm. And if that means that Boston Review thinks you're polemical, then good. Then let them think you're polemical. Because coming out of Newark, New Jersey, I mean, I can't help but be a follower of Mary Baraka, who, as his son, the mayor, said, had more publications than the entire committee at Rutgers University that rejected him, right? Mary Baraka said what he wanted to say. And I think that if we're going to serve Black people, I think that we should say what we want to say in Twitter. And then I think we should say what we want to say in front of them, the way we would say it. And so I don't think she's there yet. Now, many people say she's an emerging hater. I see the comments. She's an emerging hater. Well, maybe we should do an emerging hater award. Let's give her that. But I think until, people really write for Black people the way they write for Black people, and by the way, I mean, I'm not picking on her. I mean, I spent all year attacking Eddie Glaude for doing this on MSNBC, right? He's very different on MSNBC than he is on WBLS. I think until Black people really go and talk to Black people in a tone that is Black, and whether white people like it or not, screw them. I think until we do that, we can't nominate those people for Hater of the Year. I just want to say, again, really respect her contribution, love the conversation you had with her, but I just wanted to make that clear.
Very well taken. Point well taken. And a number of people in the audience are suggesting you've just put yourself in first place just on that commentary alone. So again, we'll recap. Right. Dr. Sharice Burden-Stelly for her CBS Review and Twitter writings, Jaguar Wright for her truth telling on the neo soul industry, Michael Jordan for his Last Dance documentary, Jared Ball for Dr. Ak, AKH Tober, battle acceptances for Umar and Carr, and Todd Stephen Burrows for his challenge to nationalists to write more than one book or a book at all in his merciless book reviews. And I will add for this last commentary about emerging hate awards. So this is it, the moment of truth, good people. Please get in the chat and raise your votes some more as we deliberate here. Doctors, Burrows and Hate, where are we going with this?
I can't even focus. I had to mute myself. I've been laughing through this whole thing. This is hilarious. Far too much time on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Far too many things to hate in the world.
All of it this morning, for
and
sure.
It just comes down to this moment. Which one of the two are hating harder?
Todd hating his way to the championship.
If this award had come out in October, I would have said there's no possible way Jared cannot win with the 2 no-shows.
I mean, my vote is for Jared with the 2 no-shows.
But
at the same time, to then be invited to the party and to be like, none of y'all deserve to be at the party that you threw, celebrating what you did in 1994, you should be ashamed of yourself.
yeah, I gotta go with that. I'm feeling the sway of the crowd of Dr. Hate. And I'm thinking, Dr. Burroughs, if you didn't have it in the bag already, I think I did. Look, I had a strong year. There's no doubt about it. I had a very hateful year. I've worked hard. I earned my nomination. I deserve that much. I had a strong October. But the Hater of the Year is a year-long award. You gotta, from beginning to end. And Dr. Burroughs, you from I can't even, because you didn't even give me all of them at imixwhatilike.org. You had a number of reviews you kept for yourself at drumsintheglobalvillage.com. But you've been consistently hating all year. And when you step into a Zoom call, I can go back and forth with Carl on Twitter, and I can, have an indirect, never scheduled, never fully planned out non-debate with Umar. But when you go live and direct in front of a room, it was like 8, 9, 10, 12 on screen senior scholars and writers and activists, and tell them all they have just not, and with substance and accuracy, tell them all they haven't stepped up.
The bottom line was they had visited Africa more than the primary source section of their libraries, and that's just true. And
then you got one-liners like that. I think I agree. We could give the sub emerging Hater of the Year to a pre-category to Dr. CBS.
I want to strongly recommend her for that emerging Hater of the Year.
She can have it. Let's put
it on there. Let's put it on.
Let me just warn y'all, that's a lot of pressure to put on her.
It's a lot of pressure.
She will rise to the occasion, because again, I love her Twitter feed.
Okay, but this is a different game to be playing right now, Todd. I had to take it to Rucker because it's not the NBA. You are not playing for checks. Todd is an academic who don't have a university check to be quiet around, who doesn't have any grants that have to control what he does. Todd is a genuine intellectual who no one can tell what he can write, the way he should write it, and when that joint needs to be done. And he's been publishing without the threat of perishing. And it's a dangerous field to be in. I would not want to put that on somebody to be like, you know what? I want you to step into this ring.
And you know what?
You ain't gonna win nothing but a hate award.
I'll even make my own argument, because what Dr. Ball forgot is that I did some hate on even the Mumia movement in Medium.
That's right.
My first piece on Medium was a critical piece on the Mumia movement. And even our conversations with Lynn Washington, I had to find out who my friends were in the Mumia movement. So yeah, okay, I'm starting to understand the argument here.
There it is. Congratulations,
thank you,
Dr. Burroughs, for taking home the 2020 Hubert Henry Harrison Hater of the Year award. It is much deserved and well earned. Congratulations. I couldn't have lost to a better competitor.
And I just want to say that my coming book review on Hubert Henry Harrison is filled with a lot of hate. So I think that I will continue the tradition and
start 2021 off on the right foot.
Started on the right foot.
Oh, well, wait a second then. If we're doing that, then an emerging Hater of the Year got to be Brian Quabba.
Well, we'll let folks know about that as we bring Brian back to the platform, because he's already in line to hate. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll do that. But listen, because we do have to wrap, but we've been here for a minute, and I really want to thank. Before we do, I want to thank the two of you for coming back, putting this together. It is a lot less easy than maybe people realize. I want to thank certainly all of these folks for sticking with us, some who have been here for the entire 3 hours. the numbers of live viewers has been strong throughout. I really appreciate that. Certainly, I know we all do. And again, we just want to, I would at least want to say, we want to remind everybody this is satirical, meant for comedy, even when there is legit disagreement. It is all for the as we started off with, to appreciate the rapier knife of revolutionary criticism, so that we can maybe advance a little bit better, have a little fun hating on the last year and on each other. So anyway, those are my last words, because I know we do need to wrap up. I want to give the two of you any last words. And again, I'm deeply appreciative of those who stuck with us, those who joined the channel. Please join, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. But thanks anyway. Fellas, go ahead. Anything.
My last words are this. About a week ago, I got up early on a Saturday morning and I was doing some stuff. So I put on your interview with Jeffrey Perry. And it was weird because I was making breakfast and I had that kind of warm feeling, but it was familiar. I said, wow, why am I feeling so happy, right? And I realized it was the same warm feeling I had in my early 20s when I was watching Like It Is. And so I want to congratulate you, Dr. Ball, for doing this amazing body of work. And I think, again, I've said it to you privately, I've said it to you on Twitter, I'll say it to you here. I think you're 5 years away from joining the Hall of Fame of Gil Noble, Westervelt Middleton, and those people who have, taken their lives to make sure that our struggles have been documented. So I just wanted to thank you for that publicly and to tell you that, because I've never even told you that last week, but I wanted to tell you that in front of this audience because I wanted people to understand how serious you are and how uncelebrated you are, even in spaces that claim the same things that you claim. And so I just wanted to say that as my.
Well, I appreciate that. Look, I seriously appreciate that. Those are two legends and idols of mine for sure. And through you, I got to meet Gil Noble, so I appreciate that. But also because I can't even win the Hater of the Year on my own platform. So I am glad to get some recognition for something. Anyway, yeah. Dr. Hate, man, you wanna.
No, I just like a good hate awards. That's all. Nothing left for it. Listen, if anybody's left at the end of 2021, we'll all get back and do it again.
Right on. All right, good people. As always, like Fred Hampton used to say to you, we say peace if you're willing to fight for it. Thanks again. Congratulations to all the nominees and all the winners, and to Dr. Burroughs for winning Hater of the Year. Take home the swag and all the accoutrement that go with it. But anyway, a lot more coming up at the channel, at this platform. Please go to imixwhatilike.org to not miss anything. And again, as usual, as always, as Fred Hampton used to say to you, we say peace if you're willing to fight for it. So peace, everybody. We'll catch you next time. I mix what I like. I mix what I like. I mix what I like.